What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to begin into Soul Leveling episode 7 reaction. Last episode was a really good one. It had me feeling, a lot of different emotions at the end of it. I'm intrigued to see how Jinwoo kind of deals with the fallout of killing all these evil hunters that he came across last episode. I'm hoping that him and Jinho kind of meet up in this episode and maybe have a talk about what happened. I'm sure it's kind of impacting both of them psychologically. So, I'm hoping that there's, Jinho's character sticks in the show, and I'm curious to see how he gets introduced or integrated into the show more, because he seems like a really good character, someone that Jinwoo can be a little bit of a mentor to. He's had he's already kind of played that role to a degree. And he's been explaining how dungeons and the gates work to him, and especially after going through this traumatic event, it'll be interesting to see how their relationship either blossoms from this, or if Jinho will continue to kind of like be a little more scared of him, as you saw in the previous episodes. It was a little bit of comedic relief, I think, but so I'm assuming that there'll probably be a little bit of a relationship that continues to develop, but we'll see if Dong-suk's brother comes into play here, and or if that's kind of going to be a little bit later in the episodes, or if the Hunter Association, even though they seem to pass that audit, if they start to ask more questions. So yeah, really curious to see what's going to happen here. Let's go ahead and get into the reaction. All right into the intro this time. I think it's the first time we've gone right into the intro. Gotta pay the bills, the bills. Back at the Hunter Association. Oh, is he gonna see the report? Yeah. Classic boss here. That's gonna pique his interest. Jinwoo. Fuck you, bro. The infamous Swan. Fried chicken's always a good day. Oh man. Nope. Just sleazeballs. Yeah, you can see it's kind of impacting his psyche a little bit. Yeah, I mean, how could it not, though? He's cool, calm, and collected. Man, when I'm feeling emotional, I'm not that way at all. Yeah, I mean, he's got the resolve. He's drinking the beer. Can't have too much fried chicken now. Better count those calories. Wow. I mean, kind of a reward. If you like to get drunk, it's kind of a bummer. But yeah, obviously much better for your actual health. Oh, Jinho. Let's go.
今行く。
Bring him back. Bring him back.
飲みすぎ体に毒だよ
Not to him, it ain't. He can pound them suckers, and I can just enter a bunch of drinking competitions and roll the floor with everyone.
急に呼び出してしまって
また会うとは思わなかっ
嬉しいです。兄貴は命の恩人です。
Anarchy.
た。俺も魔法石を譲ってもらえて助かったよ。それに君はあの時のことを黙ってくれて。
I wonder if he's gonna tell him
奴らが
anything.
先に殺そうとしてきたんじゃないですか。正当防衛です。
それで要件を
兄貴、実は僕攻撃隊を組もうと。
断る。
とりあえず最後まで。
ボンボンのお遊びに付き合うつもりはない。
20。いえ、せめて19回だけ。
19回。まさかギルドマスターに。
話だけでも聞いてください。お願いします。
Did to have like a certain number of dungeon raids to become a guild master, I guess.
それで
はい。
Hear him out, man. Come
僕
on.
はギルドマスターの免許を取りたいんです。そのための条件の一つがレイド経
Okay.
験20回以上のハンターであること。先日がその1回目でした。
Yeah, what a
会社を継ぐため
first.
に勉強だけはしてきたので、筆記試験には自信があります。
そういや友人建設の次男だっ
ギルドマスターになりたいのは会社のためです。実は父がギルドを作ろうとしてまして。
け。友人建設のギルド。
はい。
Crossing sectors here.
それだけ多くの宝が眠ってもいる。魔法石やマナ鉱石はその一部にしか過ぎず。ダンジョン内にあるものは全て金になると言ってもいい。
Yeah.
単にダンジョンを攻略させ利益を得る。自給自足が目的か。
その通りです。
Yeah.
マスターに起用し、副マスターに僕の兄を置いて。
スキューって国内に7人しかいないんだぞ。
え
Yeah. You best be paying them a lot.
え、ミンビョングハンターはすでに引退してます。
You retired?
他から引き抜くつもりか。やめておいた方がいい。引き抜かれたギルドからも恨みを買う。それで君が経験を積んでマスターにお兄さんと争って。
仲間が必要ですよね。僕もランクの高いハンターと組むより E 級ハンターを連れてレイドを成功させた方が。
Yeah, it's a good deal for both of them.
兄貴は B 級。いや、それ以上の力。
Wow, he's even stronger than B rank already.
これは。
Hey, he knows his contracts well.
現時点の推定時価は300億。兄貴にご用意するレイド報酬です。
Wow.
19回で300億。
Sheesh.
即飛びつく額だ。だが俺だけレベルアップできる状況では話が。
Yeah, he knows his value.
続けられるのならいつかはエスケープ。
He's definitely getting
考
bold.
えると300億ははした金だ。どう影響を及ぼすのかわからないのが他人と。
Jinwoo's got a brain, all right.
すまないよ。
Aww.
待ってください。協力してもらえれば兄貴のことは一生秘密にします。
Yeah, can you really barter that? Yeah, not exactly in a position to. Jinwoo's a lot
生き
stronger.
残った2人の情報が知りたい。すぐに資料を持ってきてくれ。
Oh man. Oh, he's gonna get involved.
ミスターファン
兄貴が殺された。
Damn.
それは何か確証。
資料は
はい、こちらに。
ローラン、俺がよそで人を殺したらどうなる？
ハンター犯罪における引き渡し条約が締結されている国であれば現地の方で裁かれます。ですがそうでないならば本国の方で裁かれることになります。政府との交渉次第では減刑も可能かと。突然の予定変更はギルドの業務に支障をきたします。
いつまで埋まってる？
しばらく先までは。
その後でいい。抑えておけ。
かしこまりました。
Enough time for Jinwoo to get a bit stronger.
ハンターユージンホ。E 級ハンタ
It doesn't even look like him anymore, man.
ー。それまで生きていることを願うばかりだ。
He's intimidating.
お前が体を動かすなんて珍しいな。
勉強ばっかしてると体に悪いでしょ。
チキン食べ過ぎだ。
Facts.
なあ。
This guy gets 10 kilometers in.
どうする？
お母さんの治療費と
大学行こうかね。
あとは
貯金わかんないよ。現実味ないし。
Little do you know.
お前は自分のペースで来いよ。
ちょっとお兄ちゃん。永久でもハンターね。
Oh, he even did an extra one.
11キロ。どうして目標以上の距離がカウントされてるんだ。
Yeah, if he does more, does he get
なるほど。
extra?
どこまで行くのか試してみるか。
Better rewards, probably.
お兄ちゃん。やっと追いついた。
もう少し走る。ちょうど2倍で止まった。なら残りも。
I wonder if it'll up his chances, like in the loot boxes and stuff.
デイリークエストがシークレットクエストに変わった。選択式のランダムボックス。
Cursed.
まずは祝福されたランダムボックス。
Yeah. Yeah, curse sounds risky. Ooh, a new key. Or it's red though.
悪魔の
Demon's Castle.
入手難易度 S。
Dang.
強力な魔力で万病を治す。命の浸水。
What? It's S rank though. I think it's gonna be a while till you can do that. Oh yeah, you can use it with his mom.
本当にあらゆる病。
Dude, that's huge. He's got a real goal now. Don't tell me he's gonna go in now.
ダンジョンと比例するのがこれで開くダンジョンの S 級。
Yeah, I don't.
中にはあの S 級ハンターたちが。
Jeju Islands. Is he actually gonna go in now?
そんな次元の異なる怪物たち。
Yeah, I don't think he probably would, right? All right, what do I know?
本当に危ない時はインスタンス
Okay, he's got- yeah.
諦めたらそこまでだ。全てを取り戻す。
It's red, dude. Okay, so the Wolf Assassin buff's going on it. It's a beast. Using the dash, baby. He's able to pierce it, but it's not paralyzing it.
衝動の効果が適用されていてこれか。
Murderous intense. It's like, nah, bro. There you go. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be strong enough for this thing yet. It's too early. Oh, bruh. Look at his arm chop.
一瞬で3分の1も削られた。
Yeah, I would dip, bro.
能力値2倍。
Yeah, get the F out of there.
早っ。
Man.
もう半分。状態の回復。
Okay, he's got total recovery. Damn, this animation is nuts. He's really risking it, man. I would be much more cautious than he's being. Yeah, of course not, man. Bruh, no, jeez. Come on now. Amateur mistake. Rookie mistake. Oh, he can use the store now.
1個300。3つ購入。1つでたった100か。
Damn, that's nothing.
毒
飲みすぎ体に毒だよ
俺は大丈
Oh.
夫やるしかない
Ah, jeez. This one was like really high rate. I think it was like A rank or something. I don't know, man. This all seems very risky to me.
まだ動ける
It's going to town now. Damn, very cool. Ooh, dude. Oh, he's fucking in its mouth. I didn't even notice. Dude. Crazy. The eyes glowing will never get old. Reminds me of like the Avatar state or something. Cool shot, very cool. Give him that level up, baby. Should heal him too, right? Yep. Damn, that was so risky, man. He's bold as hell now. He's changed as a person already.
また鍵これはケルベロスが持ってたものなのか
Yeah.
なんだ
Oh, it's a formula. Have to be found in the castle, okay.
今のまま城へ入れば確実に死ぬ近いうちに戻ってくる
Yeah.
必ず
All right. Interesting episode. Interesting. All right, everyone. That was Solo Leveling episode 7. Let's see how far I can go. Overall, a good episode. A little bit more, I say, low key than the past couple of episodes. We kind of see the fallout a little bit of the last episode with Jinwoo having to, murder all of those evil hunters to defend himself. We see some interaction with Jinwoo and Jinho again, which I was glad to see that they're, Jinho is still involved in the story here. Get a little bit more time with his sister as well, and that, that was kind of a little bit of a decompressing time from the last couple of episodes where, things were kind of just full throttle, had me on the edge of my seat, but this one was a little bit more of a chill episode, although kind of ramps up towards the end, obviously. So let's go through this kind of sequentially. Already off the start, we get a little bit of information that the Hunter Association's, red flags or warning signs are being raised to this. I forgot the guy's name, but he's the main Hunter Association guy who visited Jinwoo in the hospital after the double dungeon, and he gets informed that Jinwoo was one of the players, or I guess hunters, involved in the C rank dungeon where all 6 of the C rankers died. That obviously starts to kind of raise some questions there. So I'd imagine that his secret's not gonna stay secret for too long. I'm sure by the end of this season it's probably gonna be exposed. In addition to that, Jinho obviously knows, but also Dong-soo is getting more in the mix here. You see he has intent to get, to go overseas, I guess, and to confront Jinho and Jinwoo. So we get some pretty interesting information as well when he goes home and has dinner with his sister. He's drinking beer, and one of the rewards he got from the double dungeon was health and longevity. And I guess it's a long-term buff, and basically it, I guess it can identify if there's toxins in your body and can heal that, and also you have improved regenerative abilities. So he says that's probably why he grew his limbs back from the double dungeon, but also he's not getting drunk, right? He's drinking all this beer, just pounding them back, and he's not getting drunk. And that actually comes into play later when he's fighting the the dungeon boss that's guarding the gate, and kind of around poison and whatnot. So it's a pretty strong ability if he can basically neglect different debuffs that there are. So I think that's really cool. We then go to a scene with him and Jinwoo. Jinwoo, asked to speak to him about kind of teaming up, having a contract where Jinwoo and his father's construction company will pay him 30 billion to do 19 more successful dungeon raids, and that's because Jinwoo wants to, and his father's company wants to start a guild, and I guess you need 20 dungeon raids to be qualified to start a guild. So get a little bit more information and background on what it takes to start a guild. Obviously the construction company is doing it for monetary purposes. They want to integrate their construction business with the hunter business because there's lots of monetary value. And Jinwoo talks a little bit about, that the mana crystals and the essence stones are kind of the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the monetary value. He kind of talks about how high-level beast carcasses have lots of different uses, so there's lots of monetary value there. I'm interested to see what kind of uses those have. I think, some of them is probably just around, having or creating better equipment for hunters, so like armor and weapons and stuff like that. And you could sell that for a higher amount of value. But I'm wondering if there's other use cases as well in the real world that translates to a higher monetary value that you could sell them for. And you get perspective both from Jinwoo and Jinwoo here. Like, Jinwoo, he kind of rates what Jinwoo is at this point. He says he's a B rank. No, he's even higher. So, we're starting to get a little bit more of a, defining what his skill is at this time. And we even see it later as he gets this key and he goes to basically an S ranked dungeon and he can defeat the boss. I mean, it was a very hard fight, but so Jinwoo is, I guess, almost as strong as an S rank at this point. I would say he's probably not as strong if I had to guess, but we are seeing that he's kind of exponentially growing very quickly here. So, the sky's kind of the limit for him. And he even talks about this in his interaction with Jinwoo, is when he gives him this offer of 30 billion, that might sound like a lot, but if you put that in relation to his ability to keep leveling up and the ceiling for that, of what that would mean for his value in the market as a player or a hunter, 30 billion is not that much. And so he denies Jinwoo, and Jinwoo even, you can see he's visibly frustrated. He seems upset, he seems sad, and then almost, tries to, not blackmail him, but use it as a bartering card that he would, take his secret to the grave. And you can see Jinwoo does not like that. He gives him an intense look of like, really, you're gonna try to, leverage that as part of your deal here when you know how strong I am. And it was almost a threatening look. So I'm a little nervous about Jinwoo and how he's changing. I mean, we get a little bit earlier too when he's thinking and reflecting about murdering those people. He does seem to be impacted by it, emotionally in his psychology, but also he says that he would do it again, right? If that came across him. And this scene with Jinwoo also makes me a little nervous because you can kind of see he's flexing his strength. Not that that's a bad thing, I don't think he should necessarily have to accept his deal just because Jinwoo would keep his secret, but you kind of see that he's starting to take bolder decisions here because of the way he's leveling up, because of his strength that he's acquired. He even says it himself that he's not sure how these abilities are changing him, right? How this player system is changing him. There seems to be some kind of intuition from Jinwoo that he's changing as he levels up. So is that changing who he is as a person too, not just his strength and stuff, but who he is, like his values, all these different things? I'm starting to get the perception that that might be the case. Something I'm a little worried about as he's getting bolder and bolder, and you see as he goes to this S rank and everything, S rank dungeon, and he puts his life at risk. He's doing it for a very strong reason, right? He wants to save his mom. He finds out from the secret quest where he can double his training, and basically he gets more options for the loot boxes. He can get a blessed loot box or a cursed loot box, and he chooses the blessed one, and he gets this key, and the key tells him that you can get the ingredients for the elixir of life, right? And immediately that opens up a huge goal for him, right? Like, you know, a lot of his will to be a hunter is around trying to provide for his family and keep his mom alive, pay the hospital bills. But now here's an opportunity not just to pay for them, but to potentially save his mom, right? And he kind of knows what the elixir of life is. So I'm wondering if it's not just like something to do with his player system, but if it's something in the gates as well in these dungeons. So, you know, he's immediately inspired by that and seems like he's willing to go to great lengths to get it already. He's already tested himself in this. He comes out in this battle with the guard dog, and you know, it's a very close fight. He almost dies. He's not very conservative. His boldness is shown in this episode. It's very much conveyed that he is willing to take risks at this point. And you know, I'm starting to be concerned about, you know, Jinwoo's character. Is he going to turn into someone who's willing to sacrifice his humanity to accomplish his goals, to save the people that aren't important to him? Is he gonna sacrifice who he is, maybe sacrifice his life, sacrifice the lives of others, such as those hunters, or Jinwoo maybe, you know, people who might get in the way of his goals, right? We'll see how his character develops as he continues to level up, but I'm starting to see some, you know, some warning signs here, and I'm interested to see where it goes. You know, I could definitely see him kind of turning into being like an anti-hero kind of like character. So, you know, we'll have to see, because he's getting pretty savage, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he even talks about how when he killed the hunters, or, you know, the fact that they thought that they could beat him kind of made him feel contempt to them, right? Like, he's like, oh, you guys think you're as strong as me, right? So there's almost a level of ego with it already. It's super interesting. But, you know, let's talk a little bit more about the double training, because even in there too, he can get a cursed loot box, and I'm wondering what that deal is. I'm imagining that a cursed loot box probably has better rewards in it than the blessed one, but there's probably a chance of something, you know, you gain a really bad thing or some challenge that, you know, is you know, not a good thing. So it's probably high stakes, you know, high stakes, high rewards kind of situation. We'll see when that comes into play. We also see a scene with Dong-soo and his assistant. You know, they talk about how he has more of the intel on the situation. He's already convinced that, you know, that Jinwoo and Jinwoo murdered his brother, and he's ready to go. They talk a little bit about, you know, the law for murdering people abroad for hunters, and I guess there's different laws on the countries on, you know, if they get tried in that country or if they get sent home for prosecution. So it probably depends on the laws where Jinwoo lives. You know, obviously this is going to come into play. It does say that he has to wait because of how busy his guild is, but you know, it's on his list at this point. It's definitely going to come into play later on, but you know, it kind of serves as a way for Jinwoo to get stronger too, because even the Hunter Association knows about Dong-soo, so I'd assume that he's a very strongly rated hunter. I don't know if he's an S rank, that hasn't been said yet, I don't think, but I'd imagine he's at least an A rank, right? If not an S rank. So we'll have to see, you know, at one point in the story he comes in and, you know, what level of threat he is to Jinwoo at that point. I mean, they're kind of building him up to be a very strong character, so I'd imagine he's going to be a strong antagonist to Jinwoo here. But I'm also worried about him just going in there and taking out Jinwoo, you know, without Jinwoo being involved. And I have to imagine that Jinwoo and Jinwoo's paths are going to cross more. I mean, I might be a little biased here because I like Jinwoo and I'm hoping that they work together or become friends, but at this point I'm not so sure where, you know, if that's going to happen or not, but I feel like their paths are going to cross more with you know, Dong-soo coming after them. You know, after he gets this key and he ends up going to the dungeon right away. I thought that was crazy as an S rank, even though Jinwoo says he's stronger than a B rank, you know, it doesn't seem necessarily smart to just go risk that. And he has a teleportation stone, and you know, he's kind of trying to see how strong he is, but it's also that boldness once again, right? Like he sees the elixir of life and he perks up from that. He sees the opportunity and he wants to go test it right away. So he goes and does that. He has to fight that three-headed dog. You know, it's definitely a little bit of a play on Greek mythology there. I forgot the name of the dog, but the one that guards Hades' dungeon, right? And I think this is the Demon King's dungeon or something. Yeah, he gets the Demon Castle key. But you can see off the bat, this beast is very strong. You know, we see Jinwoo's new ability, Murderous Intent, try to get activated, but then the dog counters it. So there are counters to skills in this, in the world, and he can't just rely on those skills all the time. Depending on the beast he's facing, it might not be the best idea, or he can't really rely on those skills to get him through the fights always. But we see him really struggle. He's very close to dying. The teleportation stone gets knocked out of his hand. And eventually he's looking for a solution. He sees that the item shop's now available. Now, he can't really afford much. He only had like 1100 currency, and the potions that he was getting only healed 100 HP, and you know, obviously not that much. And that forces him to use his hand to use that, the venom gland potion that he got from the first, or I guess the second boss that he defeated, that snake, right? And that one was poison, but in like there's a debuff for him, like his muscle strength would go down. I guess his strength would permanently go down, and then he would also get 20 plus resistance, physical resistance. But I think, you know, it flashes in this scenario too, back to the health and regeneration buff that he gets from the double dungeon, and it seems to counteract the negative side effects. So he just gets that 20% buff here, and that helps push him through to be able to beat this boss. And from that boss, he gets the key to the actual castle itself, and he gets the elixir of life recipe. So, and then it says that he has to go in the dungeon to get those ingredients. Obviously, he doesn't do that now. He kind of clearly states that he's probably not strong enough to do that. I mean, he barely beat this boss, and I'm assuming the bosses in there are going to be a lot stronger. But we can see this is kind of being set up for him to eventually go into this dungeon and, you know, try to collect these ingredients. I'd imagine that there's going to be other things happening with Jinwoo or Dongsu or the hunter associated in between there. You know, the elixir of life seems kind of like a bigger goal or plot line for the series as a whole, for him to save his mom. So we'll kind of see how that gets timelined in the story. But overall, the fight scene was really cool. Once again, the animation of this show really shines through. The soundtrack is always really, really well done. This fight scene in particular reminded me a little bit of Demon Slayer's, I guess, season 2, the entertainment district, with the fight with all the flames around them and kind of the cinematography that they had, the way that they animated, you know, the Hashira and the Upper Six fighting in that scene. Really, really cool. This reminded me a lot of that with the kind of the color design and the way that they had the, I guess it was some CGI here where it was, you know, the camera was moving along with Jinwoo as he went. It was really, really cool the way that they shot this fight scene. So I really appreciate that. It makes those scenes a lot more epic. And I'm sure as, you know, Jinwoo gets stronger, it's only gonna get cooler and cooler. So, but yeah, I think that will do it for this review. Definitely a really fun episode overall. Really excited to see how Dongsu comes into play here in the next few episodes. And yeah, so I appreciate y'all watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction and review. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a like. Drop a comment down below what y'all thought about this episode, what you think of the reactions and whatnot. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Peace.